What's poppin', cheeky muffers? It's your boy, Luke. Welcome to chapter 63 of Memoirs of a White Guy. And we're all poppin'. I'm poppin', just poppin' right now. Shakas galore in the radio studio right now. Because this week, I started a shakas revolution. That's right, your boy Luke started a revolt. It wasn't really a revolt. We weren't protesting against anything. Actually, you know what? We were sticking it to the man and the haters. Mainly the haters, though. So if you didn't see, if you don't have Instagram, then you wouldn't have seen, because it was purely an Insta meme. It's where I keep all my dopest memes on Instagram. Actually, no. The podcast has the dopest memes, and then, like, Instagram second. Snapchat, well, here's the thing. No good memes ever make it to Snapchat, because Snapchat sucks shit. Like, have I told you guys about... I don't know if I've said, but, like, obviously Snapchat is a dying medium. I think we've all recognized it by now. Like, my views are going down on Snapchat. You know what's weird? Or they're not going down. It just stays the same. Like, say if I get, like 50 to 100 followers a day on Snapchat, right? From videos that are circulating around Facebook, new people liking my stuff, whatever. My videos just still stay at the same level. But I know there's heaps more people following me now. Just no one goes on Snapchat anymore. So, like, my views on my story just stay at exactly the same rate. They haven't gone up for, like, 6 months. So, anyway, Snapchat is a dying medium, so I'm just letting Snapchat die with me. Like, I'm trying to make Snapchat die quicker. So if you want to see some of my worst content, which also means really my best, go follow me on Snapchat, and boy oh boy, is that platform going downhill, because I'm still on it. But, like, it's got to the point now where if I somehow, for some miracle happens, and I do a good Snapchat accidentally, I'll just, like, delete it and refilm it to make it a bit shitter. Because I'm like, oh, that's way too good for Snapchat. You guys who follow me on Snapchat deserve worse, because you're still on Snapchat. So I'll refilm it, and I'll put the good shit up on Instagram. But, yeah, Snapchat, what was I even talking about? Snapchat is an absolute hole. Like, I don't know why some guy, who bought that? Facebook bought it. I don't know, who bought it for $2 billion? Apparently it's like someone bought Snapchat for $2 billion. Why? Snapchat are beating Instagram stories on filters, and that's about it. Like, otherwise, Instagram stories has definitely taken over. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so my Insta memes, right? So if you didn't see on Instagram this week, I started a poppin' revolution. We were out there popping on the haters. I don't even know how this shit starts. I swear to God, whenever I accidentally try, like whenever I try and make good content, or, like, try and start an in-joke, or... I never really try and start in jokes. Usually I just say something shit. Like, one time I tell a story about a fucking fat bird, and then 6 months later, there's 50 people helping me find a pigeon by the Yarra River. Like, usually they just evolve organically, and then I look back on it and I'm like, how did that even happen? But, like, this one, it was the same thing. I was out at a gig, and I was promoting last week's podcast on my Instagram story. So I felt lame. I was backstage, and I was like, oh, I hate doing this shit in front of other comedians, because it's like, I'm already like that douchebag with his own podcast, because every motherfucker has a podcast in the comedy world. So I was like, alright, I'm just going to promote it. So I held up my, like, phone, and then I was like, oh, how could I make this cooler? How can I make this Instagram more engaging, more interesting to look at? So I was like, oh, I got a sweet idea. I'm going to pop a shakas. And then I took the selfie, popped the shakas, and then I kind of, like, posted it. I was like, oh, check out the new podcast. And I just didn't really reference the shakas. And then, oh, by the way, shakas, if you don't know, is a hand gesture. It's like the hang loose sign when you're surfing, like, and you wiggle it a bit. Like, it's like your pinky and your thumb, all the other fingers down, and you just give it a bit of a wiggle. Like, put a phone to your hand, like a fake finger phone. It's like that when you do the phone hand gesture, but you just pop it right up real quick and then give it a shake. That's a shakas. So I popped one of those, right? And then immediately I felt a bit self-conscious, because I was like, oh, I should reference the fact that I've popped a shakas. And, I hadn't probably popped a shakas in a while, man. Like, I was, shakas wasn't really a big thing in my life until this happened. And then the next snap, I was like, you know what, I'm going to be confident in this shaka poppin'. So I posted another Instagram story after that, and I was like, I said something about, like, you don't need a pop it. I forget. It was along the lines of, you don't need a good reason to pop a shakas. I pop a shakas whenever I damn well want. And I just popped it. And then I posted like one or two more, just like popping, like just whatever. I was just doing it just to, cover up the fact that I initially popped the shakas unironically. And then all of a sudden, I just start getting, like, no joke, like hundreds and hundreds of messages. Like, I'm pretty sure I got like 300 to 400 messages just in the first night. I've done like three Instagram stories about it, right? And I was just like, holy shit, like, what's happening? And the thing is, they were like really divided. So like half the people were like, yeah man, fucking sweet shakas, bro, like keep popping them, they were sending videos of them popping shakas, and I was like, holy shit, what have I started? And then the other 50% of people were just full on hating on it. They were like, bro, this is lame, man, you just can't just pop shakas like whenever you damn well want. And I was like, oh yeah? Fucking watch me. And then I did about a whole 3 days on it. But you know, like, people just messaging me like, oh, stop popping, man. Man, even if I wanted to stop popping, which I can't because I'm a bloody popping maniac now, but like, I just pop shakas whenever I do it. I pop shakas like by myself now. Like, I'll just be walking along the street and I'll like avoid a puddle because I'll be like, oh, I almost stepped in it. And then to celebrate with myself, I'll just like chuck a cheeky shakas just in my pocket even. Like, what are you going to do? I'm a poppin' maniac now, and there's nothing you can do. All these people are like, oh, you need to stop, man. You need to stop. Yeah, I'm a pop till I drop, bitch. Okay, I'm literally going to pop till the day I die, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Like, on my gravestone, it's just going to read like, you know, loving brother, loving son, fucking poppin' legend. Like that, those are the 3 things I want written on my gravestone. And you know, however that, you know, could be loving husband, or you know, whatever, or loving father, or loving whatever to then. But you know what, as long as it says poppin' fucking legend, I will have lived a happy life. Okay, so you know, that's my life motto now: eat, sleep, pop, repeat, and just over and over again. If I learned anything from Fatboy Slim, it's that. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing this week, just popping shakas like a damn crazy person. Not even, just like a loose unit with a, you know, good taste in hand gestures. But it got crazy, man. Like, I just started popping them on Instagram, and then all these people just, the amount of shakas I saw this week, just insane. Like, I don't know how to handle that much pop, you know. You can only handle so much pop. I'm popping everywhere these days. I'm popping on chairs, you might have seen it on Instagram. I'm bloody popping on the sink. I'm getting that clean pop. Where else have I popped? Man, I've been popping in my personal life. I've just been walking up to my girlfriend, brother, whatever, just popping however I please. Mum cooked a great roast the other night for dinner. Instead of saying thank you, just popped her one of these, and she was like, yeah, noted. Alright, this must be a sick roast, because, you know, you can say thanks all you want for a roast, and you can say I love you, yeah, that means a lot. But no, there's no greater sign of respect than a pop. So, if I could just urge you all to get out there popping, not for me, do it for you, alright? Do it for you, do it for your friends, show some respect out there this week. Pretty much just pop till you drop, as I said. And so that's what I've been doing this week, starting a shakas revolution. I'm quite proud of it. Some of you have gotten involved, lots of people have gotten involved. You know what, and today I did quite a controversial thing, uploaded, it's just a Monday today, not Tuesday, I'm recording this on Monday night. I popped a rock instead of a pop. So I was rocking it today. I got pretty Triple M inspired. Work at a rock. So we work upstairs at a pop radio station, but when I come downstairs to do the show, I'm rocking, which is not the hang loose symbol. It's the devil horn symbol, where it's the pinky and your pointer finger and the rest of your fingers are down. So it looks like Satan has taken control of your hand. I don't really know why people do that at concerts, like the rock on thing. It's just, it looks like you're trying to gorge someone in the eye, but that's pretty fucking metal, so you know, maybe that. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing this week. What have you guys been doing? Probably not starting a bloody poppin' revolution. Anyway, no, you know what, some of you have been getting on board, that's why it's a revolution. So great to see you fellow poppers out there, keep popping. Lots of people got great feedback about lots of people proud this week to have the identity of a cheeky muffer. Lots of people on Muffin Patrol. Great news to hear from your cheeky muffy head, Captain Muff over here, running this podcast every week. You know, we're pretty understaffed here at the Muff Patrol unit at HQ, but it's great to see that we're not under-resourced out there in the field. Because I was getting bloody muff snaps from everywhere. And not nudes, just you guys slapping muffins, the food. But so don't go out there and slap. I'm not going to tell you what to or what to not slap, but try and keep it food related with this whole muff thing. So what I actually want to talk about in this week's podcast, I didn't write down any of that to talk about. Oh, okay. So in Melbourne this week, I don't know, it might be that relevant to you people who live overseas or interstate, but we had like crazy rain forecast. It was like record-breaking rain, and it was on the first day of summer. That's how shit Melbourne is. Comes December 1, and then Mother Nature's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take a fucking slash on you all weekend. 200 mil, bitch. What you going to do about it? And then the SES got fucked on. Here's the thing, though. So it was talked up, like, on the news. It was literally like, you can leave work early. There's going to be mad rain. Like, it was like, don't park in any basements. Lock yourself inside all day. Shit's going to get crazy. There's going to be thunderstorms. Trees are going to fall. People are literally urging you not to go outside if you live in the city, right? That was like what they were saying. Like, don't go outside. So I was like pretty much ready to bunker down. Bought some like canned bloody tin food, and I was like, you know what? It's the apocalypse. We're all going to die. I probably should have done a last podcast from a bunker. I didn't though. I was like, you know what? We might get to next Tuesday. And believe it or not, I'm here because there was like no rain. It kind of rained. It was just like a light shower. And they were like, get indoors. And I was like, what? In case you forgot your umbrella. Like, I didn't even prepare for the rain. I wore like a hoodie to work, and I was like, oh, maybe that will do. And it was fine. It sufficed. I'm alive. Like, I think I had to step over one puddle, then I popped a shakas, and I was like, sweet, this is a cool day. This was like, literally, it was 18 degrees, and for a brief part of the day, it was sunny. I was like, that was not worth all the hype. I'm sick of the media hyping this shit. It's got to be hectic rain. And apparently some places in Victoria, like, got hectic rain, like, shit flooded. And there was a couple of bigger puddles, like medium to large size ones. Like, I saw a few people get done by the, like when there's a puddle on the side of the road. And then, and then like cars just choose, like, it's 2-lane. You don't have to drive through the puddle, but cars just like, oh fuck, I could wet some people. I do it, man. It's fucking hilarious. You just drive through like an asshole and get everyone wet on the sidewalk. I almost got done by that, but I moved just in time. I could see that it was a P-plater, and I was like, man, I'm a P-plater. I know exactly what this fucking guy's gonna do. And sure enough, he pulls over into the left lane just to get in the puddle and goes, vroom, and this Asian family just copped it right in the face. But I was like, you guys weren't thinking, okay? He's a red P-plater. He's 18. This kid is going to want to see some wet Asians, alright? And that's exactly what he did, and he didn't get me. Can't fool me. Because, the only reason why he didn't fool me is because I'm that much of an asshole that I knew his end goal. But, yeah, the rain was not that hectic, so I don't know, if you're listening to this podcast and you're from some kind of media or weather news service, I don't know, fix your fucking equipment. Like, you were so wrong. That's the thing I don't get. It's like, they can predict when it's hot. It's like, yeah, it's going to be hot this week, and then sure enough, it's like, fuck, it's hot. I got that bloody right there. Old Peter Hitchener and Lavinia Nixon from Channel 9 News, they were bloody spot on. But you get to bloody, like, rain, and it's like, it's going to rain today, and then I'm like, dude, I'm going to start wearing thongs and a singlet next time it rains, okay? Because I don't trust them at all. Like, to the point where it's like, I don't even know when it's going to rain anymore. I can't trust the apps on my phone. I can't trust Lavinia. Man, if I can't trust Lavinia Nixon, who is the Melbourne newsreader, I don't know who I can trust at all. I can't trust anyone anymore. So I don't know where to get my news from these days. If you guys suggest, you know what? Someone suggests to me a reliable weather service. Good luck, okay? I'll probably prove that wrong within a week. So what else do I want to talk about it? Okay, on Friday, it was cool. I went to Hamish and Andy's last show. So it was their last ever radio show on Drive. And you guys know that I'm a huge fan of them. And, since, like, I think they're, like, definitely, like, the first ever comedy I heard. And it's been, obviously, the most insane experience, being able to finish off their career, being alongside them, working with them in the building and stuff. And that's been super surreal. But yeah, so I was just like, purely went there as a fan or whatever, and I would have gone anyway, you know what I mean? Like, if I hadn't have, been working here at the radio station regardless. And it was just cool to see. I don't really know what I want to talk about here. I was just super proud of them. They wrapped up an awesome radio career in an arena. 6,000 people came to send them off for their last show. Man, that's crazy for a radio show. Holy shit, 6,000 people. But yeah, it was really cool. And they've been obviously great to us in the development of the Luke and Lewis radio show. If you guys listen to that, but yeah, it was super cool seeing pretty much at the top of your industry, and perhaps what it could be if you put your mind to it. That was really cool to see, and I've briefly gone into it in the past how influential they were to my comedy, because obviously, like, you guys know me better for my stand-up comedy, my sketch comedy on YouTube, like the videos I put out. And then I guess you know that I'm also a blubbering fucking moron from this podcast. But, yeah, I think what they really taught me early on, like, back when I used to listen, I remember I used to sit there and listen to them, like, until 1 a.m, like, just stupidly late. I was in primary school, I had school the next day. And I remember I was just obsessed with... I found it so funny. Like, it was initially that, but I was also just obsessed. Like, I became, like, I guess, interested in their lives, and not obsessed with them, really, but, like, I was just like, holy shit, these guys are, like, make funny material every single day. And I think I became obsessed with that idea of not constantly trying to be funny. I think I did, because obviously early on I was like, man, I could be funny. But they were hugely influential, and just like, holy shit, these guys put out 40 minutes of content a day. And that's, like, something I'd never really gotten to explore before the radio show. Like, I always had a podcast so I could be, like, funny for 45 minutes a week, but I never actually had that challenge of trying to do it every day. And since I started the radio, you guys know that, holy shit, it's been a challenge. Like, it's not ruined my life, it's made my life awesome, but, like, it's definitely taken a toll on the online content, because literally it's 8 o'clock now on a Monday. I've got to be back here. It's 8 p.m, so I've got to be back here at 9 a.m. tomorrow. I'll probably get home at about 10 p.m. tonight minimum. And then I've got to do it all over again. So it's definitely ruining my life. I've been doing like 11-hour days. Well, it's actually going to be a 12-hour day today. But you know what? Literally, I would not rather be doing anything else with my life, except for touring. Touring and doing shows is super fun. You know what? And I do like doing videos. It's just like, it's become a thing where I'm like, I've been writing a lot of videos actually, but I just, trying to get the time to film them. Anyway, not your guys' problem, my problem. By the way, I hear you. I hear all the people who's like, hey man, when's Brief Music Reviews coming back? When are you doing this? When are you doing that? I hear you. I'm aware. It's like, you don't think I've just forgotten that YouTube exists, do you? Like, I'm not that stupid. Like, I'll slap a muffin because it's funny, but I don't just completely forget what I'm doing with my life. That I don't make videos. I haven't made some in a while. But anyway, it's coming soon. I'm not going to promise anything. But what I was saying was that Hamish and Andy, when I was sitting there, I was watching their last show, and I was thinking about it. Holy shit, these guys have been so influential to everything I've done so far in my life, whether it's, trying to be funny in high school or now pursuing comedy and stuff. And, I just not really thanked them because, they wouldn't listen to this. I've actually thanked them in person, which is cool. But, yeah, anyway, like, they're just so influential, and, like, just the shit, like have you ever listened to their show? I don't know if you guys are very familiar with it, but it's not punchline comedy. You know what I mean? It's not like every, this thing is written and pre-planned on their show, and that's what I love about it. Like their show, they go out and they do big ideas and big projects, and that kind of influence definitely shaped the Fat Bird idea on this podcast, and lots of the things I do. And I know I'm probably ruining the illusion of, like, the smoke and mirrors behind how everything's done, but, like, wait... Sorry, I have to have a drink. I know I'm probably, like, ruining it all a bit. I just think it's cool to get behind the scenes. Like, I was, I saw what they've been doing, and I knew how the Fat Bird thing was progressing as an in-joke and stuff, and I was like, man, I could probably explore this more. And then I thought of the idea of the live podcast, and, and if I hadn't have listened to, 6 years of other people doing similar shit to that, I probably wouldn't have had the confidence to back myself and do that. And funnily enough, that's one of the first things that I did that got their attention. stuff like that is, I don't really know what I'm talking about now. I'm just rambling. But it was just cool sitting there in the crowd, being a huge fan, and now being on a personal level with them, just going, holy shit, these guys I owe a lot to in comedy. So that was really cool. Got to see Hamish and Andy in their last show ever, and I'm such a loser. Like, I kept the ticket like a nerd. I'm like, oh, I'll put it on my pinboard and I'll remember it forever. That's the lamest shit. Like, keeping something. Like, I'm the least sentimental person ever, but yet somehow, like, occasionally I'll just be like, oh, you know, that's pretty cool. I'll remember that. But you know, occasionally I'll just keep shit that makes me happy. Like, I still have, I think the thing from the first ever comedy show I went to, Nick Cody's show. It's like weird. I'll just keep like weird somehow where I'm like, I just keep it just in case I make it in comedy. Like, just in case this becomes like my career and it becomes really successful. One day I'll be like, oh, remember that? Like, right now I'm just like, oh, fuck, that's junk. But then hopefully one day that will mean something and it will be sentimental. But yeah, so seeing them off on their last show was just the coolest shit. I've been there since, I feel like, day one. I'd never missed a show for, I think, since like they started. So I think I missed a few shows in 2006 because it was really hard to find the podcast. But I've definitely listened to every single show they've ever done since 2007. That's some hardcore fan shit right there. That's a decade of Hamish and Andy, which is crazy. So yeah, I've owe a lot to them, and that's all I want to say. Thank you. And Friday was really cool. What else has been going on with me? What else has been... Okay, this is a good one. Okay, so last week, right, I was talking about the lists. I was talking about how in relationships, people are... By the way, I'm standing, and I'm doing the podcast standing, so that's why I'm, like, running around, and I hope when I slap the table, it's not loud. Like, is that... I bet you that's annoying to hear right now. Oh, you know what else is annoying while we're on the topic of that? The program that I record the podcast on has a metronome. So right now, like, if you can hear that, imagine if I just, like, why would you ever need that to record a podcast on? Like, just so I can keep talking in time. That's fucking annoying to listen to. Like, I could rap to it, like, yo, this sound is shit, but when I put some spars behind it, fuck, it's lit. Like, that did not improve the metronome at all, actually. So yeah, pretty much a pointless... What was I even talking about? Oh, I was talking about the lists that people have in their relationship, right? So people have, like, a deal. I always think it's so stupid. People have a deal with, like, their partner or, like, their girlfriend or whatever. It's like, oh, it's like, it's a hall pass kind of thing. Like, oh, if I ever met whatever celebrity, I could sleep with them. Like, everyone has that deal. It's like, oh, top 3 people you could sleep with or whatever. So I was talking about it last week, and I was like, I couldn't even work out who mine was. And to be honest, it's been a week, and I'm still confused, and I don't know what mine was. But I was like, oh, I'll ask my girlfriend, Emily, what her list would be. And I've asked her, I forgot to record it with her, had a busy weekend. And I'm just getting up a Facebook message now. I'm not connected to the internet. Man, the internet here at work is so shit. In the sense that, like, it's amazing. Like, the speed is amazing. But whenever I log in, it logs me in as a guest. It's like, bitch, I work here. Don't you dare give me that guest Wi-Fi. So then I have to go connect to the actual Wi-Fi. Which is insane. It uploads, like, these podcasts. Like, what, a 50-minute long video clip in about 10 seconds. So, it's freaking cool. Alright, so this is Emily's list. I've got it up now. So it's the list of pretty much people she'd want to bone out, like if I wasn't around, if I wasn't in the picture. So I'm probably about to be really offended. Alright, because you know what? The thing is, the thing that gets me with all these lists, and it's like, it's offensive in every relationship, is the person's like, oh, the girl's like, oh, I want to fuck Brad Pitt. And then the guy's just looking at himself in the mirror the next night, just going like, man, I look nothing like Brad Pitt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, like these... Okay, who's Emily's first girl? Oh, sorry, first guy. She doesn't have girls. Actually, she did give me a girls list, but I'll get to that later. So the first dude is the guy from The Longest Ride, which I've Googled, and is Scott Eastwood. So it's Clint Eastwood's son. And immediately, I'm just like... It makes me feel like shit. Because I know I've asked her to do this. And I'm like, oh, you fine with me sharing the podcast? She's like, yeah, go for it. Of course she's fine with it. because it just makes me look like shit. It just shows that she actually does have good taste in guys, but she's just settled with me. Like, she's just gone, oh, he'll do. You know, wannabe comedian, talks to himself for an hour every Monday night. That'll be fine. I'll just lock that down for 4 years. So yeah, I'm looking at shirtless pictures of Scott Eastwood right now. I can't compete with that. This dude looks like David Beckham and Liam Hemsworth had a baby. And like, this is the result. And also, he's Clint Eastwood's son. He's one of the most attractive people I've ever seen in my life. So I totally get why she's on his list. And you know what? You can tell he has a shit personality. Fuck him. I'm going to be mad to him now. You know he's got a shit. He's probably like, I don't know. He probably like goes out for brunch. You know what I mean? Like, he's that guy. He's like, oh, I'm Scott Eastwood. I go for brunch. That's it. I eat like healthy shit. You know, that's the thing. He'd eat like, you can tell he eats like multivitamins and like muesli. Like, he's a fucking muesli guy. That's how he gets his shit rigged. Alright, yeah. Good on you, Scott Eastwood. But at least I don't know why I'm comparing myself to him like it matters. But at least I don't eat muesli, you muesli dog. I don't know. I honestly, like, I can't even pick apart this guy. He's gorgeous. I'm trying to be mean, but you know what? I want to sleep with him. I think I'm going to put him on my list. Alright, who's the next person on our list? Dylan O'Brien. I know who this guy is. This guy's the guy from Maze Runner. Emily talks about him all the time. Dylan. Dude, I accidentally just googled Dylan and he comes up. Dylan O'Brien. Oh, man. Why do they all have to be so attractive? That's what... Like, can't you just pick some other guy who, like, is a bit shitter than me? What's he in? He's in Teen Wolf. Most girls will know him from Teen Wolf, and most guys will know him from, like, nothing. Oh, he's the guy in Maze Runner. So you guys might have seen the Maze Runner. He's the main guy in that. He's, like, brunette. He looks nothing like me, again, because he's actually good looking. Holy shit, he looks better in black and white. This guy is like, you know what? There's some red carpet photos here that aren't the best. So, I'm a bit confident now. He even looks good with a shaved head. Fuck. Man, I can't compete with this shit. And one day if she meets him, I'm going to have to be like, yeah, do it. Yeah, I don't care. And like, secretly I'll be like, man, this guy's hot. Can I join in? And the third guy, you know, I don't even care anymore. Who is it? Oh, okay, Liam Hemsworth. Great. So that's the third guy on our list. That's how hot. That shows you how good the other two guys are. Liam Hemsworth is third on our list. Liam Hemsworth is a jet. All right. The worst thing about him is he's dating Miley Cyrus. Like, that's the worst. Like, he clearly has no taste in girls. And no offense to Miley, but also a lot of offense. Because, you know, come on, get some respect for yourself, alright? Stop licking hammers. Oh, she did stop licking hammers, but it's disgusting. But Liam Hemsworth, he's in the Hunger Games. Dude, even like that Peter guy from the Hunger Games is better than me. You know what I mean? Like, Peter's a bitch as well. It just... Man, I don't know why I wanted to do this on the podcast. This is just me having a breakdown. That my girlfriend actually, I've realized now, I always thought, I was like, oh man, I've totally tricked Emily into thinking, like, I've tricked her into thinking that I'm way cooler than I am. That's what I thought for 4 years. I was like, she doesn't even know there's better guys out there. She does. She's known all along, but for some crazy reason, she's not reaching for the sun, alright? So now I'm going to do my list, and you know what? Fuck Emily, alright? I'm gonna pick girls who look nothing like her. Because that's what she's done to me. And it's almost made me cry. So Gal Gadot's still in there. I'm gonna pick all brunettes because Emily's blonde. You know what though? Like the thing is, I have a type. And and most of the girls who I actually rate are like in Emily's type. It's like, oh, blonde and, you know, like... just, I don't know how to describe it, just like blonde, cute, funny, like that's kind of like my type. And Gal Gadot is only cool when she's Wonder Woman, but like Margot Robbie, like that's the thing, like that's the same type as Emily, so that won't even make her mad. She'll be like, oh yeah, I get that, I'm blonde, she's blonde, you know. Like the only thing I have in common with these dudes is they're all brunettes. At least she didn't pick some like blonde surfer hunk, because literally I'm the total opposite of that. Like I'm like a brunette, boogie board, fat piece of shit. Not like a hunky surfer dude. Like, I'll pop a shakas with him, but that's about as surfy as I get. So maybe, like, for me, mine's got to be Gal Gadot, the Wonder Woman girl. Margot Robbie, everyone knows Margot Robbie. If you don't, she's Harley Quinn in but not as Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, but her. And maybe Mila Kunis. I guess Mila Kunis, just because, like, she hasn't lost it, and, like, good on her. And also, the catch would be you get to meet Ashton Kutcher as well, so it's like a double bonus. And I'm a huge Ashton Kutcher fan, so probably Mila number 1 then, just because her association with Ashton. And then Gal Gadot number 2, then Margot Robbie 3. So that's my list. Emily's one's totally better. She gave me a girl list as well, and Mila Kunis is on a girl list. And then Blake Lively. Who's that? Is that Ryan Reynolds' wife? Blake Lively. Is she even hot? Blake. I'm being, like, really, like, mean here, judging people purely based on their appearance. Oh, yeah, she's hot. But, like, she's kind of old. That's weird. I'm going to have to bring that one up with Emily. She's into, like, older females. And when I say old, she's probably, like, late 30s. But, like, that's an old one, you know, for Emily to pick. Emily's 21. So, you know. Anyway. Cool. What do I want to talk about next? So now, dude, that just completely ruined all self-confidence that I had. Well, you know, I didn't have a lot, and now she's just, it's like my self-confidence was already, like, bleeding, like, crawling on the ground. Then Emily came over and just stomped on it, took a giant steamy shit, and was like, yeah, Scott Eastwood, and then just crunched out, like, 3 shits in a row that were better than me. Clint Eastwood, Dylan O'Brien, and Liam Hemsworth. Man, if Emily had, like, a 4-way with them, I couldn't even look her in the eye. I'd just be like, I'm not worthy, but tell me everything about it. I'd be like, I need to know everything. Like, was it, you know what, that would be, like, you know, I'd be happy for her if that happened. I'd actually be thrilled. Good on her. You know what, if anyone could pull that off, like, if anyone could pull off a 4-way with Dylan O'Brien, Scott Eastwood, and Liam Hemsworth, hit me up at luke.kidgell@gmail.com, because that would be great content. But you need to have proof, okay? You need to have pics or it didn't happen. It's like when you do anything on Instagram these days. If you didn't put it on Instagram, didn't happen. So, alright, what I want to talk about next. How am I going for time? Man, I've been talking so much shit. It's already at half an hour. Alright, this one is a banger, okay? So, you know, you guys know that I like to read news stories that I see that get sent to my email during the week that they say, you should talk about this on radio. Like, that's what the intention of the emails are for, of possible content to discuss. And we do use some of it on the show, but then there's some shit that's like, you really want me to say that on national radio? It's in the middle of the day. There's kids in the car, and you want me to say that shit. Here's one that's a banger. An army captain has called for prostitutes to visit soldiers on the front line to relieve stress. You want me to talk about taxpayer-funded prostitution on air? Just soldiers out there who are sick of having a wank, so that's what they want. And you know what? And straight away, I read this article, and immediately I was like, oh, there's definitely, this army captain is a dude. So I looked up the article. It was a girl army captain who's like, just wants a root. She's like, man, let's get some male sex workers in here. Or female. I don't know what she's into. But she's just like, she suggested it. And all these people are giving her shit about it. Like, how dare you even suggest paying taxpayer dollars on our prostitution? So her theory was that, obviously, lots of soldiers, it's a long time they serve. So say if they're single and they don't have, like, a wife or kids at home, you're pretty much left to your own devices as far as sexual pleasures goes. Just as far as intimacy and that in your life, it's really hard to whack off to, like, the local newspapers, because just not, you know, the women don't show too much skin in Afghanistan traditionally. So it's really hard to, you know, I totally get it. I get why it's suggested as a thing, but, like, I'm not sure if, like, brothels on the front line are the way to go. I don't know, I guess, you know what, like, so the argument is, right, that, yeah, they're lonely over there, and it would relieve post-traumatic stress disorder, and just relieve the stress of war, with a good fuck, essentially. So, I get it, like, yeah, I guess it's something to look forward to, like, there's probably nothing better than after a long, hard day of fighting the Taliban, you clock off at 5, and then you get the government to pay for you to go down on some 19-year-old chick with daddy issues from South Carolina, alright, who gives a terrible wristy, but she's, she's alright once you get down to the real deal. So, and I've got nothing against that. I mean, it's not great that it's coming out of taxpayer money. Perhaps they should start up a fundraiser back home. I don't know how that would work, actually, just because it's hard to be like, hey, give this bloke a root, he's fighting for your country. You know what, there's some Americans that are so patriotic, like, they, like, donate money while, like, jack it off to an eagle just to give some bloody soldier out there a good fuck after a long, hard day of, enforcing peace in the Middle East. So, but you know what, like, okay, maybe they shouldn't get taxpayers to pay for, like, having sex, because that's pretty full on. But, maybe we just start funding wristies, and then the soldiers have to pay for the rest of them, if they want to go further than a wristy, then perhaps they need to pay for it themselves. But, maybe we could do, like, some fundraiser, like, out there, palmies for the armies, or something like that, like, something that just gets the word out there in a fun way. It's like, oh, it's pretty tasteful, it's just a wristy, but if you want to go further, it's not coming out of taxpayer dollars, something like that. But, yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting headline, because, if I had have done that on air, palmies for the armies, I just don't think that would have helped my radio career. But, doing it on the podcast, fucking bang on content. But, yeah, so I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know, with that shit about, like, it's such a hard thing, because you got no idea of how lonely you get. You know what? I bet you it does help. I bet you it gives them something to fight for. Because, like, they get lots of entertainers over there. Like, I know comedians who have gone over there to perform for the troops, and, and they love it. Like, the show goes off because they're just psyched that they've got, like, performance for they've got something to do that night. So if they literally had something to do that night, or someone to do, you gotta, I think the performance on the battlefield would have to improve. I mean, maybe I should go over there one year, not to do comedy, just to fuck a few blokes to boost morale. I could go over there and just take a couple of dicks. If it's for our country, I'm happy to take the fall. I think that's one of the most patriotic acts one could do for their country. Some would say actually enlisting in the army is quite a patriotic, honourable thing to do, but someone's got to get out there and take a dick from those hard-working soldiers. And look, I'm not going to put up my hand as of yet, but if duty calls, what can you do? So that might be a new career plan. If this doesn't all work out, I might get paid by the government to please those hard-working soldiers out there who give it the role in the Middle East. And look, some of them might not be happy about it if they got promised a couple of prostitutes from a local Melbourne brothel to come over and give them a bit of a spin, and I rocked up and they're like, oh yeah, you the comedian? I'm like, was the comedian, now just here to get you boys hard. But beggars can't be choosers, so drop those dacks and let's just step to it. And then he'll probably just salute me. I imagine that's how all army people come. When they come, they just salute, like as a sign of respect or something. Like similar to us popping shakas as a sign of respect. If you're in the military, it's just a cum salute. Alright, I'm going to end the podcast soon, because what the fuck is I'm talking about? God, I'm getting Facebook messages. I'm a bloody popular boy. Cool. So, that's... Alright, I'm going to answer a question, and I'm going to bloody get out of here. I'm going to have to do white thoughts next week, because I've talked too much shit again. So, if you have white thoughts, send them during the week. A white thought is just... if you haven't heard the segment, it's just something that really... You're only thinking because you have too much time, because you were born affluent, you were born into a privileged lifestyle, and you find yourself thinking things that are like, man, people who have real problems don't think about this shit. And I have them all the time. So I've got a few bangers next week. I'll do one email, and then I've got to get out of here. So This one is from Olive. Thank you for sending in that question, Olive. Your parents named you after one of my least favourite foods. So, unlucky for you. Hi, Luke. Sorry if this is a really long email since I just caught up on all the episodes of Memoirs of a White Guy and your radio show. Wow, that's a lot of bloody audio. So that, Jesus, like 60... We're like 60 hours in, I think, to this podcast. I broke my wrist a couple of weeks ago and can't do much. Classic chalky chump issues. So 10 days and 68 hours of podcast later, I'm finally up to date. You listen to this podcast in 10 days? Dude, that's going to be a new record. I'm pretty sure some girl did it in a month, like a few weeks ago. But 10 days? Dude, that's 60 podcasts. That's 6 podcasts a day. Holy shit. Am I even like, I'm barely entertaining for an hour, and then for 6 hours, you guys must really rate this shit. I don't need advice on talking to girls. I'm pretty sure even you will be able to pronounce my name, but I do have a couple of questions. Man, she's shit memeing me so hard right now. She's literally, all these memes are still fresh to her, like me not being able to pronounce shit, because she listened to everything ever in the last 10 days. Holy shit. Can you do any accents? That's one of her questions. If so, maybe you could do a bit on the podcast in that accent. Also, is puns really the lowest form of wit? No, Olive. Oh, no, wait. I'll answer it in an accent. In Russian. No, Olive. Puns are not... Wait. I gotta get into my accent. I gotta say, like, words. So, say if I'm doing a Russian accent, right? I've gotta be like, vodka, my name is Vladimir, I'm from Moscow, Russia. I can't even do it good, really. Like, what can you say? I'm from Soviet Russia. I swear I've lost it. I used to be able to do accents quite good when I practiced it. I can do like a girl from Tennessee, like, hey yo, my name's Savannah. Actually, this is Emily's impression. Emily does a sweet Tennessee accent. She's like, my name's Savannah. I've been out here, shooting moose and geese, and just providing for my family. I'm a hunter-gatherer type. I can kind of do like that shitty American accent, but that's not actually how they talk. It's like when people do an Australian accent, they're like, "G'day, mate. Oh, I'm from bloody Australia. How you going, mate?" Like, it's over the top. So I can do an over the top accent, like Jamaican, like, "Hey, welcome to Jamaican band." Like, Jamaica, we have a, some people can't believe Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. Like, I can kind of do Jamaican, like, "Hey, getting Rasta, man." But, that's kind of racist, that one. What about British? Excuse me, I'm not British, thank you very much. This is my best British accent. To answer your question in British, is puns really the lowest form of wit? Well, I'll tell you what, Olive, alright? I'll tell you what. Puns is definitely the lowest form of wit. So you could do like a British pun. Like, you could do like, "Oi, you know what? Because it's the lowest form of wit, I'm not even going to do it." That's how far above I am in my comedy career, Olive. To answer your question, yes, puns are the lowest form of wit. I've just lost it now. I've gone into New Zealand. This is what happens. I'll just go between accents. But yes, puns are the lowest form of wit. And as you can tell, not great at accents. So I hope that answers it. I kind of do Kiwi as well. Like, when I was like, just from being over there, like, oh, my dog, I got attacked by my cat and my dog when I imitate their radio. You know what? To answer your question, honestly, I would say I'm not good at accents, but it doesn't stop me from dabbling in trying. I dabble in accents, I still try and do them. I'm just not good at it. The next part, this is quite a long email, but let's keep going. The next part of Olive's email is, the fun facts segment appears to be dying a little bit, and it's making me sad. Not really. You know what it is, because we did have a lot of fun, but I just thought, you know what, the fun can't last forever. It's not like popping. Like, I'll pop till the day I die, but, it's hard to have fun till the day you die. I thought I'd take matters into my own hands and contribute. Hopefully, it's fun enough. Alrighty, let's see. This better be fun, because you've brought it to the table here, Olive. So hopefully Olive delivers the goods. She said here, I'm assuming it's a girl. Yeah, it says a girl at the end. Alright. Imagine a dude called Olive. Fuck, you'd probably cry. Here's my fun fact. In the United States, every year, 2,500 left-handed people die from using equipment that was designed for right-handed people. Just think how many deaths there would be worldwide. Now, initially, I wasn't having a great deal of fun with that fact, because it was just how many people die every year in America. But then as soon as you said at the end, as soon as you opened up a bit of theatre of the mind and got me to imagine how many people die worldwide from left-handed industries, that's where the bloody fun began. That's some fun shit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while, but we're doing it. Thank you to Olive. Let's sound the fun fact horn. Oh, it feels good to be back. Holy shit. Sorry, I should have got you guys to brace for that bit of fun. Woo-wee. Man, that's a lot of people dead from left-handed related injuries, and that's a bloody whirlwind of fun. That's about as fun as it gets on the podcast, so thank you very much to Olive. Alright, sorry, now that we've all calmed down from that, let's go back to the email. So, this email is so long. She's got a question, she's got a few references from the podcast, she's got a fun fact. Olive, you bloody bring in the content thick and fast, and I love it. Couldn't support it enough. She said, okay, it goes on to, still going. In one of your episodes, you mentioned Boxing Day, where the name comes from. Oh yeah, that would have been the Christmas episode last year, so a year ago. Very topical reference. But you know what? We're almost up to Boxing Day again, so let's bloody do it. The holiday actually originated in England in the mid-19th century. Servants and tradespeople worked on Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas was a designated holiday for the less affluent folk. The name Boxing Day comes from the tradition of wealthy people, probably fair-pigmented Western gentlemen, definitely, giving gifts to their workers as a token display of appreciation. Oh, so Boxing Day is a day where rich people give bloody gifts to their peasant serfs, to their servants. These gifts were done up in boxes, hence the name Boxing Day. Thank you for that. That's bloody bang on information. See, you know what? I can talk about fucking the troops for as long as I want, but eventually we'll get somewhere really productive and really educational. And that's what I love about it. This podcast is diverse. It's educational. It's got a lot of stuff about dicks, but then we get back to the real stuff, which is, you know, how was Boxing Day invented? So great. Thank you. I think what I said was Boxing Day. I thought Boxing Day was like a thing because I thought that's when everyone used to unwrap their presents after Christmas, and it used to be in boxes. So I was half right, but I just didn't account that white privilege and people or affluent assholes equated to the situation. You know what? Most things where like things are named things are like from white people just having it their way. Like Australia Day, because white people came here and bloody took over and invaded the country. Like that's a name from white people. Boxing Day, another name from white people. Christmas, that's white people wanting another day off work. Easter, you know what? It's to do with the Bible. So again, white people wanting a day off. Pretty much every single holiday is just white people. Queen's birthday, that's rich, royal white people wanting a day off. It's not even like we celebrate Queen's birthday in June. Her birthday is like in April or some shit. So that's purely us just going there, mate. We need another day off to watch the fucking footy, all right? So yeah, white people are pretty much the cause of all days that you have off work. So all public holidays, pretty much. So that's a bloody white thought. Maybe we should have a day on this podcast, Cheeky Muff Day, where everyone just like has a minute of silence and then slaps a muffin at the end. Or maybe we put like a muff at half-mast on a pole and we just all come up, pay our respects by slapping the bottom of the pole, but not... Oh, maybe that's a day. It's a day where we pardon. It's like, you know how like every Thanksgiving the president pardons a turkey? I get out there and like as the Captain Cheeky Muffer, or whatever, Captain Muff, I get out there and I pardon a muff that goes away unslapped as a sign of respect, and then I just pop a cheeky shakas, and that's the day. That's the whole celebration. Yeah, and then we put the muff at half mast. So really, it's not really okay. That's what we do. So we show it a sign of respect by pardoning the muff, but then we get the same muff and put it at half-mast on a flagpole, which is almost like a public lynching, so we still get that muff either way. That's what you get for being a cheeky muff. You know what? We'll pardon you, and then we'll hang you out to dry on a flagpole. So that could be Cheeky Muff Day next year. You guys just need to work out what day we want to celebrate it on. Either way, happy to, be celebrating Cheeky Muff Day. I'll celebrate Cheeky Muff Day every day. So maybe every day that isn't Christmas or isn't Easter or isn't an existing day is Cheeky Muff Day. So there's going to be a lot of bloody muff ceremonial muff slapping. Fuck, sometimes I'm like, fuck, people pay me for this shit. And, well, not really, no one pays me for this, actually, so that makes sense. Alright. This is the last part of our email, then I'm ending the podcast. I'm really looking forward to your tour in 2018. I'm hoping you can come to Albany, because it's only 45 minutes from where I live. Oh, you live in Whoop Whoop, I live. No wonder you listen to my podcast all day, there's fuck all else to do. It's 5 hours to Perth, which means I mightn't be able to come since I don't have my license yet. But believe me, I will try. I was thinking possibly some sort of jumper for show merch, maybe a hoodie. First thing is, if you live in like a country place like that, or say like you live closer to a country town like Albany or whatever, best thing to do if you want me to come there is put your name into my stand-up list. It's like my gig list. I have it on my website. Go to www.luke.kidgell.com/shows. Type your email in, type where you're from, because that's how I do where I'm going to come to. So if you want me to come to Melbourne, type Melbourne in. If you want me to come to, don't type your suburb. People always type their suburb in, and I have to change it manually. Alright, so, because from my records, I don't go like, oh, go on a bloody, like, Broadmeadows today. It's like, no, I'm never going to do a show in Broadmeadows. I'm going to do a show in Melbourne, like, in the city. So, you know what I mean? So, say, like, last year, I wasn't planning to do a show in Newcastle, and then all these people signed up from Newcastle to the mailing list, and I ended up doing a show there. So, if you guys want me to do a show there, that's how I judge how many people from each city like my shit. So, if you're from Albany, Olive, sign up from Albany. Maybe write Albany/Perth, just in case I don't end up doing an Albany show, which is probably unlikely next year, just because I don't know where the fuck that is. So, maybe write Perth, just so you get notified when I'm coming to Perth, and hopefully you can make the 5-hour trip. It's crazy, man. You guys are awesome, the way you guys make effort to support me. I will never be more thankful. Like, some dude travelled 6 hours last year to see my Newcastle show, which is crazy. And people travelled from, like, one dude came from Sydney. Oh, he came from Melbourne to see my Sydney show. And I was like, dude, I did 12 shows in Melbourne. Like, and he's like, oh yeah, I missed it. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's commitment. I appreciate it. You guys are legends. But yeah, I'm definitely touring next year. Can't tell you guys the show name yet, but I've got it, and I'm super pumped about it. I'm, like, working hard on the material. I'm going to make it better than last year. It's going to be sick. It's going to be bloody poppin'. So, yeah, I will definitely be coming to Perth, but if you're from another place, definitely think. And she's also said, I was thinking some sort of jumper for show merch. So last week, man, I've got so many things to wrap up. Last week on the podcast, you will have heard I was talking about, I was thinking about doing, so I'm definitely going to be doing a t-shirt, right? But as a secondary item of merch, I wanted to do either a cap or maybe some funky socks, because that's what I like. I'm a cap man, and I'm also into funky socks. So I was like, I only ever do merch that I'd want to wear myself, because I think that's, I fucking hate artists, man, who release this shit. Like, you go to, like, see a band, and it's like, they have, like, 10 different shirt options, and you're like, would you even wear these yourself? Like, these are all shit. Like, if I ever do a merch thing, I only ever release it because I would actually wear it. Like, I always wear that Fat Bird t-shirt. You guys probably see it on my Instagrams, because I think it's a cool shirt to wear. I like the design on it. And I don't really wear my You Don't Owe Me t-shirt. I wear it sometimes, but it's just like, not because I don't like it, I just don't want to be the guy who's, like, fucking repping my own merch. Like, because everyone knows me as, like, the You Don't Owe Me guy. I don't want to be fucking wearing it on my chest. Like, but, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so I pretty much only ever want to do merch that I like. So I was thinking about doing a cap and socks. So yeah, I got you guys to vote. And, man, it came in pretty 50-50. Like, I was surprised. I thought people would get around the cap more, but a lot of funky sock fans out there, which was cool to see. So, yeah, I'm still deciding. I'm probably not going to do a hoodie, Olive, purely because, I just, you know what I mean? Like, it's so expensive to print on hoodies. I don't know if you guys know, but to print art on hoodies, it ended up just being, like, bullshit expensive for you guys. Like, I probably would have to charge, like, over $40 a minimum for that. And that's, you know, I don't want my merch to be that expensive yet. So I charged, like, $20 for t-shirts last year. I always try and keep it as cheap as possible, depending on how much it cost me to get it printed. Like, I was making fuck all money off my shirts last year. Like, like so little. I didn't even know why I was selling them. I was just selling them because I liked the design. But yeah, I was making jack shit. So, but anyway, I like keeping it cheap for you guys. I think, you know, I get it. Like, I've been, lots of you guys, some of you guys are still in high school, some of you guys are my age, some of you guys are in their early to mid 20s. I get it. I don't have a lot of money either, and I totally get that, you know, not many people, you know, you guys are students and don't have a lot of money. So I want to always keep my shit cheap for you guys, as cheap as possible at least. And hopefully, if I sell enough, I'll turn a small profit as well. That's the goal. Yeah, so maybe not a hoodie, Olive, but hopefully in the future, I'll be able to print it en masse and make it cheaper for you guys. My friend this is the last part of the email. My friend recently asked what I'd been doing for the last week, so I threw your name out there. It turns out she doesn't have a shit taste in podcasts and shit taste in memes like I do. Also, she didn't like my podcast. Man, fucking dump her as a friend. Alright, you don't need her in your life. If she doesn't appreciate this shit, dude, I don't get some people, man. If you can't honestly, if you walk up to a muffin and backhand it without any context given, if your friends don't laugh at that shit, make new friends. Okay, that's the funniest shit ever. There's nothing funnier than being part of a weird patrol, like a muffin patrol unit. Like, okay, if you identify, obviously you do, you're listening to this audio, so clearly you identify as a cheeky muffer. If your friend doesn't, fuck your friend, Olive, alright? She's not good enough for you. Alright, you're better than that. So, no, but seriously though, thank you for telling a friend about the podcast. I'd love it if you guys all did too, because that's the way the word gets out there, and, you know, the cheeky muffers keep growing. So, anyway, love all your content. Keep doing you. Regards, Olive. And then she wrote in brackets, a girl/genderless unicorn. It's glad she identifies as a genderless unicorn. Hopefully a genderless unicorn/cheeky muffer. That is all we have time for today, because I've gone way over time. I'll speak to you guys next week. Holy shit, I've been talking for an hour now. Man, my throat's better this week though. That's positive, isn't it? At least I don't sound like an emphysema patient. Instead I sound like the usual whiny self. So, thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys next week. Send me your white thoughts. Send me anything, really. Just bloody keep the Muff Patrol snaps rolling in. And, yeah, keep popping out there. Pop on them haters. And that's about all I got to say. Have a good one, guys.